Just said I didn't want to have any goals, and then I'm gonna talk about my goals. Hi everyone! Today I wanted to share my Make 9 for 2024. I didn't actually intend to have a Make 9. I try not to have too many goals around my sewing. I just want to enjoy what I make, go with the flow and not have too many goals. But one of my goals, when I just said I didn't want to have any goals, and then I'm gonna talk about my goals. I know how ridiculous that sounds, but the one thing I wanted was to use up all of my stash from last year this year. So I'm not really one to have a massive sewing stash. I don't have plenty of fabrics or anything. I buy fabrics for a specific project and I try to get that project done as soon as possible. But then I had a couple of projects that I kind of been postponing, and you know, they've been like lingering. So I like to think, okay, like all the fabrics that I had in 2023 are going to be used up by the end of the year, and that was actually 9 pieces of fabric, which made a Make 9. So I just wanted to share that with you. I have them in my little notebook, which is matching my couch. Can you tell I have a color I enjoy? So yeah, here we go. So first, I want to make, I have this, wait, let me go and get the fabric. First on the list, I have this linen that I bought at Spotlight in Australia. And I originally bought this thinking I would make a skirt from Atelier Brunette, La Jupe. The buttoned version, but then I kind of thought, like, I just wear pants so much, and I kind of thought if I make pants I will wear them so much more than I would wear a skirt. So actually, and it's also just a very nice fabric to have for pants. Hi Milo. So I kind of, well, first it might be a bit of a piecing work because I'm not sure I fully have enough fabric for a pair of pants, but I'll make it work. I'm gonna, you know, it's a make it work moment. Originally I looked at the Palissada pants from, who are they from? The Palissada pants from Papercut Patterns, that's who they're from. I really like the crisscross on the pocket, but I kind of thought I'm gonna kind of like save it as a treat yourself moment later in the year to buy that pattern, and I'm gonna in the end make this into the Sara pants from the fabric store. So it's a free pattern, which I'm gonna link down below. It's like super great. So first of my Make 9 are the blue pants. And then second is this gingham, which I'm going to make into a dress. I also bought this with a different project in mind, and so I had to cut this project a bit in a smart ways because it was a bit of a squeeze to get all of the project out of the fabric I had. And I realized, so I bought this and I had never seen double gauze before, and I kind of just assumed this was a cotton. And then when I was cutting it, I was like, oh, it's so strange. There's like 2 layers in the fabric. It's a bit different, feels different. And as I was working on it, I was listening to the episode of Love to Sew about double gauze, and more they were explaining about the fabric. I was like, oh, it sounds like what I have is double gauze, and it sounds like it's very hard to fit. And I was telling to my partner, I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna make princess seams for the first time on this dress. I'm gonna have the invisible zip. It's gonna be so nice. And as the podcast episode of Love to Sew goes on and on, they're like, you shouldn't make fitted garment in double gauze, you shouldn't do princess seams. And I'm like, oh, I will make princess seams in my garment. And then at the end of the episode, when I was still hoping that maybe what I was working with was not double gauze and that it was all a nightmare and that I had a very nice stable cotton and it will be fine, they're like, oh yeah, and Atelier Brunette has this very nice reversible double gauze gingham. So hello, double gauze gingham, that's totally the fabric I have, and so I'm gonna have to make it work. So I really hope that the zip is not gonna pull this poor little fabric apart. I am going to go ahead, no, it's all cut, so I'm just gonna try to make it work. But yeah, it was a bit depressing when I was like, oh, I have the worst project for this fabric and now it's cut and now I have to go through with it. But we believe we can do it. So that was my second project. Oh yeah, and I'm going to make it, oh my god, I don't remember the name of the dress, but that's a It's this one, and that's a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. So also a free pattern, so really good. Okay, and because we are in March and I was really good with my goals, the 6 I've already made, so I'm going to show you photos as I go. I wanted to copy one of my H&M sports top, and I've made this top using this sports fabric. I had a bit left over of the fabric and I was like, oh, do I make a swimsuit with it or what? But I already made myself one swimsuit and I don't really have the need for more than one. So I just kept the remnant for now, and I try not to keep too many remnants either, but I kept it for now and we'll see what happens with that. The fabric was a bit of a pain, like it was so stretchy, and I ended up, I'll see if I still have a photo, I ended up with like little almost ruffles on the shoulders. Yeah, it wasn't working too well. In the end, to salvage it and to just make it work, I tried to fold it once more. So fold the border once more to save from the little ruffle. That didn't work, so I was getting pretty annoyed by that point. And in the end, what I did is I fully cut the whole hem I had done, and I added like a neckband but an armband on the top, and it worked quite well. So I'm really happy that this worked out. I also wanted to make a leopard blouse, so I made a dress for a friend last year, the year before. I made a dress for a friend a year and a half ago, and I had a bit left over of that fabric. I was going to make a top with it. I decided, rookie mistake, I know, I decided after I cut the fabric that actually I was going to do French seams in it because French seams are so much nicer. But so because the fabric was already cut, I ended up using too much seam allowance for the seam allowance I had cut. So in the end, as demonstrated here, I couldn't fit my head through said top. I recut the neck, I made a new neckband, and it works, but it was a bit tight on me in the end, so I gave the top to my partner. My wife and I are almost the same size, but she's a tiny bit slimmer than me, so generally when I make that type of mistakes, then she can have the top, and she's very happy with it, so perfect. I also had another blouse I wanted to make, which was also, here it is, also from a remnant fabric from a dress I had made. So here's the dress and here's the top. The top is also a free pattern from the fabric store. I'll link it below. The previous top was also a free pattern from the fabric store. Can you tell? I love all of the free patterns. I mean, I find it super convenient, and if you like hacking patterns, then it's just, they're super good basics, and then you just hack them and you make whatever you want with them. The next one is a quilt dress. I mean, it's not quilted, it's patchworked, but it's cooler to say quilted. It's not finished, but I have finished the top. So these are all the remnants of all of my projects. I kind of struggle to throw away pieces that could still be used. If I were to remake this, I would make bigger patches. I mean, the pieces are so small. There was so much piecing. I went to a patchwork workshop, and the teacher advised to me to overlock everything. So I don't have an overlocker, but I zigzagged everything inside. I used kilometers of thread to make this happen, but I'm really happy with this. I think it's really cute. I think my wife is gonna steal it from me. She wasn't absolutely not convinced originally, you know, not convinced by the project, and then as it started like taking shape, she was like, oh, if it's not your size, if you don't want it, you know, I can take it. So I haven't told her, but I think I'm actually going to finish it for her, and because she's a bit taller than me, I think I'm going to make sure the skirt is long enough for her. So yeah, I'm very excited by this. I mean, I don't need an extra dress, and the fact that she likes it, I just want to give it to her. The last three of my make nines, I made a Jackson tee from Helen's closet in this beautiful, very expensive stripy fabric. I'll put on screen what material it is because it's like really soft and very luxurious, and I really like it. I also made the wrap tops from Helen's closet. Oh my god, they're all Helen's closet now. So the Jackson tee was from Helen's closet. This wrap top is the Cassidy wrap top. Oh my god, my hair, sorry. In the end, it's a tiny bit too cropped to wear at work, but I ended up wearing it at work with a singlet underneath that kind of makes it a little bit more modest. And this beautiful fabric from Liz Taylor. I just love Liz Taylor so much, and I realized just the other day that I have so much of her fabric in my stash, and it's kind of like, not in my stash, in my wardrobe and stuff I've made, and I didn't realize it was from her because I buy it from my local fabric store, and so I don't always see what the brand is of the fabric. And I was like, oh my god, like every time I go to that fabric store, I end up gravitating towards the Liz Taylor fabric. I just love her stuff so much. It's also like really nice quality, and like I'm a sweaty lady and I really like fabric that doesn't mark sweat too much, and I love what she does. And I had like little remnants of this fabric and I used it in like all sorts of things that I put it everywhere, included in the skirt part of the patchwork dress, so that's nice. My very last project, I'm gonna bring it because it's so cool. It wasn't to dress me, it was to dress my sewing machine. So hello Liz Taylor fabric, I had some left over here, and this leopard corduroy is from pants I made. Oh my god, am I saying corduroy properly? Corduroy. You understand what I mean? This fabric, leopard corduroy, I love it so much. I made pants out of this just before Christmas. I love them with a passion. And I know it's a bit crazy, but I really like the leopard and the flowers together. I find that the two colors mix so nicely. I know that like people are not fan of like crazy prints mixing, but like I love this. This brings me so much joy. I did a really butchered bias on this. And so yeah, so this is a little dress for my sewing machine. So now I don't have the like really flimsy one that I got with the machine that's like all falling apart. My machine is dressed in the most beautiful leopard print corduroy. Okay, sorry Milo, I bother you. And that was my last Make 9 for this year. Now I also just wanted to kind of mention, I wrote down like dreams of what I want to make this year in, you know, more of like the branching out section. So I really want to make bras, and that's gonna happen because I have the kit and I've already cut the first one and it's already a lot of drama. Separate video on bras. I really want to make my first jeans. So the thing is, I have, my sewing machine is a singer talent, and everyone's telling me that it's rubbish, and I'm really worried that it's not gonna survive jeans. And I love my sewing machine. I don't want to change sewing machines, and yeah, I just hope it's gonna survive the jeans and that the singer talent and I are gonna keep powering through, and that's gonna be fine, but we shall see. And after the jeans, I also want to make a backpack. I have this pattern in mind from, I think it's from Noodlehead. I find it so cute. I kind of like would like to make a backpack, and I would like to make a jacket. I have in mind the Peppermint Magazine free pattern, the West End jacket. Looks so cool. Yeah, I'll have to see. I just want a jacket that's gonna look a bit more formal because my coat doesn't look so chic, and I don't know, I was like, for work, if I had a really nice jacket, it would feel nice. And I was thinking, and I already found the pattern for that as well, I want to put a removable hood with poppers because I have a dog, as you might have spotted here. He's there. I have this one and I walk him, obviously, but so sometimes I'm out in the rain with him, and if I hold him, I don't want to also hold an umbrella, so I want hood. So hoods with poppers to make my fancy jacket also practical. I feel like it's gonna be a win. So yeah, so that's all for my sewing plans. I'm very curious, what are your sewing plans? Do you have big goals for 2024? Please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. And Milo and I want to remind you that you can make anything.